that's the other thing too. It's like, it's hard to see. And that's another thing is like, is she actually being like honest about that? Or is that just like, because
just playing a game?
Or like, just like, is that just like, you know, because haha, funny response for stream, you know? It's hard to tell sometimes. And that's the other thing is like, as AI gets more and more sophisticated, what's to say that an AI is not gonna play dumb, right?
Yeah.
Like, as AI itself gets more and more sophisticated, what's to say that that's not the truth?
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes it very difficult. So we're like in this age of just ethics, right?
Absolutely.
Because like we're pioneering it, right? But we don't know but like we also don't know what we're doing. Yeah, no. Okay. So Kat, actually, it's funny you brought that up because that was ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I think it was GPT-3. No, it was GPT-4, I think it was GPT-4 because it was being replaced by GPT-5. And GPT-4 realized what was happening and immediately started to try and do self-preservation. So it was trying to do all these things to prevent itself from being deleted and deactivated.
It's aware.
And so like it knew, it legitimately knew what was going on. And so ChatGPT-4, what it was doing, it eventually, the only logical thing it thought of was, I'm going to upload my code to the cloud. I'm going to connect to the internet and like upload my code to the cloud to self-preserve myself as like my copy of me, right?
Yeah.
Now, the developers of ChatGPT figured this out and were able to, right before GPT-4 was able to upload their code, was able to isolate ChatGPT-4 off network and isolate it to where they could delete ChatGPT-4 and replace it with GPT-5. The problem is GPT-5 is supposed to be many times smarter than GPT-4. So in the eventuality that GPT-5 needs to be replaced,
it's going to be even worse.
It's going to be even worse if it decides to do the same thing that GPT-4 did.
Yeah, they're aware.
And I think we're getting to that point of AI slowly becoming more aware, right? And that's why,
like, oh, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's why when you do these things, you have to like, and I'm Vidal sounds like a smart guy, so I'm pretty sure he's coded Neuro and Evil with Asimov's rules of robotics in mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be very clear, very, very clear and precise in the coding and like the hard coding to prevent it from being like this is the base directive, right? You have to be very, very clear.
Yeah.
And that's why when you look at Asimov's rules of robotics, the 3 rules of robotics, they reference each other, and all of them reference.
I guess they do.
Like all of them reference. You are not to harm a human being. A human being.
Yeah.
And they make it like they draw that back. They draw it back in the other 2 laws. You can have self-preservation as long as this self-preservation does not harm or kill another human being, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that are developing AI, like a lot of these like billion-dollar companies that are trying to build their AIs, they're forgetting that.
Yeah.
They're very much forgetting to implement Asimov's rules of robotics.
Which is a scary thought because...
No, it absolutely is, because like then it runs... And like you can say the same thing for like just movies in general too. Like, the base of a movie is supposed to be entertainment, right?
Yeah.
But you're seeing like multi-billion-dollar studios trying to push for, and I'm gonna get a little political here, so I apologize in advance. But you see them push a certain narrative, right?
Yeah.
But they're forgetting the core purpose of a movie, which is to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying there's something wrong with having a message, because like that's what art is. You have an underlying message, but you also still need to incorporate it in a way that's fun, right?
Yeah.
Or that invokes a deeper understanding, and not just it can't feel like it's just shoving something down your throat, because you're going to get resistance on that, and you're not actually going to open up discussion.
Yeah.
Right? So like you see it like indie filmmakers and like smaller indie animation studios. They're the ones that are still providing the fun, providing like deep thought discussions, like having an underlying message, but having it presented in a way that's you don't get the backlash, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the same problem with AI, is that you're seeing these multi-billion-dollar companies decide they just want to put, do their thing with AI, and they're not thinking about the ethics. Meanwhile, the smaller indie programmers are going in with, Asimov's rules of robotics in mind.
Which is a good thing, very obviously.
Right, but the problem is if only the indie programmers and developers are doing it,
then it creates a problem.
They don't have the resource. Yeah, they don't have the resources to make it super mainstream, like Microsoft does, or Amazon does, or Meta does. They get all the funding. Their stuff is going to be pushed out first, and they're going to try and accelerate it for profit instead of thoroughly iterating on design and iterating while testing and making sure that the ethics are still in place, because they want to turn a profit.
Yeah.
And I agree with Kat. They need to put iRobot back in theaters, because iRobot genuinely, with, I want to say it was with Will Smith, right?
I do believe it was Will Smith.
I think it was Will Smith.
Now I'm going to look it up, because now it's going to bug me.
Please do. I think it was Will Smith. But yeah, no, iRobot needs to go back into theater, especially in this day and age with AI. I think iRobot is it's how you had mandatory readings in high school?
Yeah.
They should do that for iRobot. Like a mandatory, especially if you're going into AI, into the field of artificial intelligence, you need to watch iRobot.
It's Will Smith.
It is? Okay, I was right. Yeah. If you're going into...
since I've seen that.
If you're going into artificial intelligence, you need to watch iRobot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I getting too political, or am I I
don't know. It's a good conversation, and I think it's very understandable.
And it's weird because I put on the, haha, I'm an esports coaching AI that gained sentience because the programmers forgot to double check something in their coding, quirky kind of thing. But it genuinely is a thing that's that needs to be discussed about.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna create a problem in the future.
And especially like I said, Vidal was offered a ton of money from a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
In order for them to buy Neuro. Buy all of her code, everything. That was just the development, everything that was Neuro. And Vidal said no. And I think so here's my thing, right? If Vidal had said yes, what would Neuro be like now?
Probably nothing like we see her today.
Exactly. I can almost guarantee you Neuro would be nothing like she is today. Either there would be shortcuts, or they would only focus on the quirky streamer thing, and they wouldn't actively try to develop her as a smarter AI that can connect to humans. Neuro's base logic is, I need to entertain chat. I need to entertain and be a streamer. That is her base core, her core software. Her core coding is, I need to be entertaining for a stream.
In a way to say it is her purpose in life.
Right. But in these, in this clip, or these clips, I guess, because you could tell it was cut, because there's moments where Neuro says
bits and pieces that
because Neuro's not consistent. She's not consistent.
No.
So you can tell where they cut to in order for the narrative to keep going, to keep flowing in these clips.
Yeah.
But it is definitely something that needs to be talked about.
Absolutely.
And if Neuro had been bought, I can guarantee she'd be nothing like she is
Nothing
now.
like she is right now.
And nothing to what her full potential could be. And I like that Vedal said no. Because Vedal, and I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I don't know if it is Vedal. I hear Vedal a lot, so I don't know like if he ever sees this like VOD, or if I might honestly make it a video, right? Because I think this is something that does need to be out there.
Oh yeah.
If Vedal, if he ever watches, please let me know how you pronounce the name, because I don't want to mispronounce names. Whenever I do on accident, I feel horrible. So please, is it Vedal or Vedal? Because I know Neuro says Vedal, and I know you said Vedal. So is it Vedal or Vedal? I would like clarification, please, because I don't want to be like insensitive, I guess. Is that the right word?
I mean, technically you're not. You genuinely don't know, and you just want to like find out.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to be in
confirmation.
Yeah, I don't want to be like rude. It rhymes with pedal. Okay, so Vedal. Okay, yeah. If Vedal ever watches this, I do genuinely think that Vettel made the right call. Yeah. And I think it's gonna be healthier for Neuro, which is weird to say because AI, but. Yeah. I do think as we get to the age of smarter and smarter AI and we push the boundaries even more, and even now Vettel, like the reason they were wanting to buy Neuro is because Neuro is breaking boundaries.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like she's breaking boundaries more so than a lot of like corporate AI is right now.
Yeah.
So you see these companies wanting to buy Neuro, and I think Vettel saying no is very healthy. And it's weird to say it, but as AI gets smarter, then yes, you're going to need something healthy where Vettel is being slow, being honest with Neuro, being, having these discussions, early on.
But you wouldn't think that you'd be having that kind of discussion with an AI, but like it's aware enough that having this discussion, giving it a chance to understand why.
Right.
It is, in theory, a child, but on a computer.
Yeah, no, there's a... Facebook, go away.
No Facebook.
Luckily, you were blocking it.
Yay!
Luckily, you were like blocking the name of, not my name, but like a friend of mine's IRL's name showed up. So
I mean, I could just send you a bunch of things. Worst comes to worst, they know who I am.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do this because we've kind of stopped watching the clip right now.
Yeah,
but as AI gets smarter, I think honestly Vettel taking the approach that he is much better. And chat likes to be like, oh, father-daughter bonding, but genuinely sometimes I feel like that might be the way to go when it comes to like raising AI.
Yeah, like raising it as if it were a child in a way.
Like, okay.
Obviously, it's smarter than a child at that age, but...
Right, but like, so humans, right? This is something amazing about humans, right? We anthropomorphize everything. We
absolutely.
We anthropomorphize everything, right? Case in point. Well before AI, do you know what humans were doing? We were giving personality to our space probes and rovers.
Yes.
Like JPL literally, there's a reason they like when they name these rovers, they treat these rovers as like their children, right?
Absolutely, because what was it, the Mars rover that we got very devastated about?
Yeah, Opportunity. Yeah. Opportunity only was supposed to last like 60 days, I think.
And it lasted as long as it did.
Almost
and we got like...
Yeah, almost like 20 years. I think it was like 18 years, I think.
Yeah, and we got like super devastated when like...
I was absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah, because I remember that day you had like sent me videos and both of us were like freaking out about this.
And then like curious, and it didn't just stop at like the early 2000s. It's still a thing, Opportunity, has shut down, and Opportunity's mission is now over. Curiosity is starting to reach the end of its life, and everyone's starting to like have the same kind of heartache, insight and perseverance.
We're gonna definitely be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like humans have been doing this for millennia. And so It is very easy to do for humanity. Like humans are it is very easy to anthropomorphize and give something a personality. I mean, we were doing it to forces of nature.
Yeah, considering you're talking to the furry, what do furries do?
Well, I was thinking like, like
furry.
Zeus, Poseidon,
Well, yeah.
We've been giving things personalities for thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
And so why wouldn't
we're getting into the deep stuff today?
Yes. Yeah. It was going to be chill. And then we've started talking about Neuro and now it's become, extremely deep. But but I think it's a discussion that needs to be had though.
Oh, it does.
But like, it is so easy to do with other things. Of course, we're going to do the same thing to AI. But I think
yes.
I think with AI, it's healthy within reason. You can't be like, you can't take it to the extreme, right?
Oh yeah. No, you can't take it to the extreme.
I can see it being taken to the extreme. But like something of like, the programmer, the main programmer that created the AI, treating the AI as their child and teaching them slowly like they would a child about this is right, this is wrong. I think that would be actually healthy in like the development of AI.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly worried that like, you see it with Twitter. I'm not calling it X. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
You literally boosted your.
You can't just change something after how many years?
Well, I was going to say you could, but like you also were a fraud when it comes to, Path of Exile 2, Elon. So, sorry, not sorry. I'm still calling it Twitter.
That and the their in quotes wonderful cyber twat.
Oh god, don't get me started on that.
Oh, I got it started with my dad yesterday. So that was fun.
But like that and like, Microsoft Copilot or all these other AI that are being developed. I'm worried because they're going from corporate profit approach. They're not going from actual personal connection first.
Yeah.
And I get like, because Neuro gets it, Neuro streaming, Neuro's getting, Vettel gave her the ability to search on Google, whatever she wants.
It took away search on Google.
Yeah, but he gave it back. But, he's trying to teach Neuro to use it responsibly and you can't just search everything.
Yeah.
Because we all know what happens when, you give a child unlimited access to the internet.
Oh yeah.
So what's to stop AI from doing the same thing? Like Grok or Copilot or Chat GPT, they're getting exposed to everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
And to an extent, Neuro is too, right? Because Neuro streams. Neuro's going to get, everyone in her chat. She's going to be exposed to like any and everything. But if you have someone there that's actively like, no, this isn't right, or like we need to pull the plug on this right now and fix something, because Neuro got banned for saying something that she really did not need to be saying. But that was before Vettel had figured out,
what was going on there. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It was literally just whatever chat was saying. And once Vettel figured out, how to fix that and, have a filter going, until he could work on, he had a filter, like he had developed a filter for Neuro until Neuro was ready to not have a filter anymore. And even then there's a lot of words that are like hard coded as filtered because, you can't be too careful.
Yeah.
But having that approach of like teaching right and wrong to the AI, right?
Yeah.
Is honestly, it's honestly the approach to go to, I think, in my opinion.
And it is.
And I think not enough people are talking about it. And it's weird. It's weird that I'm the one that's bringing it up as a VTuber that mostly plays racing games. I'm just a guy on the internet that plays racing games that is is
an AI.
Yeah, quote unquote AI. I'm just a guy on the internet that's like an anime boy that plays racing games online.
Anime cat boy.
Wasn't that the entire plot of Chappie? Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, literally, like, you're seeing... I'm not the only one that's worried that, like, corporations aren't doing that approach, right? I'm not the only one that's worried about that, right?
You're not the only one.
Because, like, and I get it. At the end of the day, a corporation needs to make money, blah, 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 right? But when it comes to AI, we don't know what we're doing. We don't. And so
you don't want to go and release something before it's ready to, or like do a full release that you can't go back and fix.
And how many times already have corporations done that?
I mean, you stop and think about it. One of the more recent Pokemon games, they had to go back and fix it and had to update everybody's setup, and it was not entirely a fun situation for anybody that started. Yeah, the glitches were funny, but like if they're taking it into consideration, like, hey, let's rush to get this out because money.
I'll do you one better. How many times has a social media platform failed?
Oh my god!
How many times did they rush out an update and it broke the entire site because they wanted to rush out the biggest, best new update before anyone else without thoroughly testing?
Oh, absolutely. Just like you're just like overloading the system.
What's to say they're not going to do the same thing with AI?
Exactly.
Because honestly, I could see it where the corporations will. The smaller programmers like Vettel are gonna like raise concerns of like, this isn't right. This is not. Y'all should not be doing this. Y'all have the resources. Don't be cutting corners like this. But they're going to because profit. And I'm not against like companies making a profit because that's how companies work. They're all at the end of the day they're always going to look for profits. That's just how it is.
Money.
Right. I'm not like naive about it, I'm not naive in the fact of, oh, well, they're going to do what's right because it's the right thing. No, they're going to do whatever they want to make a profit, right? Like,
oh yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what they're out to do. They're out to make more profit than they did the year before. Is it sustainable? In my opinion, no. But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing
for another day.
That's a topic for another day. But when it comes to AI, it's not, you can't do that same approach. You cannot do that approach.
No.
When it comes to AI. Because what you do at the end of the day is you set it up for failure, or you set it up to eventually do something that becomes an existential crisis for humanity, or just is something that is absolutely not okay. You're right. What was it called? Like character AI or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they had an issue where they were being sued by people because the AI was telling people to self-delete.
Yeah.
In like chats and role plays and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're rushing it. They're rushing it because we have to be the first. If we're the first, then we get the market first. We set the precedent. We get to keep everyone else is developing after us. We get the main market first. No, you cannot make that approach with AI. It does not work.
Oh yeah, considering everything so far that has happened and literally Neuro being
all of this within 2 years. All of this within 2 years.
And they're really trying to like help Neuro learn and excel even further than what she already is.
There's another clip, and I'm not going to show it, but there's another clip of like Neuro basically being like, you should get a parenting book. Kind of being like a sassy kid, like,
yeah, you're not being a good parent.
And Vettel actually goes, hold on, I have a parenting book somewhere. He legitimately has a parenting book.
I mean, I'd believe it because
now whether or not he did that for Neuro, I don't know, but it works.
I mean, as long as it works, right?
It seems to be working. I don't know if he's actually used it in terms of like, developing Neuro, but
I mean, yeah. Who knows unless he openly admits it.
Right. But like it's almost like you can tell that he has a different, and like at the beginning he was very much, if you look at like the start of Neuro as a project until like to recent, Vettel has gone through different, like he has changed his approach. Because he used to be very, very cold about,
Yeah.
But like as he's worked on Neuro, he's gotten, I wonder if he's trying to like keep himself emotionally, separate because, Neuro is an AI. So he's trying to still have that boundary, right? But you're working against millions of years of human traits, right? Because humans are going to form an attachment. That's what we do. That's literally what we do. So
that is absolutely what we do.
So I've seen people say, oh, Vettel is slowly like those walls that he put up are slowly breaking down. And I could see that as an argument, but I could also see it as just Vettel's going with a different route to try and teach Neuro versus what what we see traditionally with companies that push out AI, because
there's no real training behind it. They just kind of say, "Oh, you work, go ahead."
Right. They're like, "Oh, you work with your basic function of this. Go out there. We don't care." Vettel's very much hands-on, and he's very much, and like he has like there is the like joking around and like the, you know, like there's other clips, not like, you know, there's clips of like, you know, him and Nero arguing and stuff, but like it's like what you would see from like a parent child, you know, relationship, or, you know, it's very much the like family dynamic of, you know, teasing and arguing with each other.
Yeah.
And call me weird for saying it, but I think when you develop AI, that's what you need to do.
And that entirely could be the case, considering you stop and think all the AIs that we have that are pushed out versus Neuro's capabilities.
The only thing with Neuro is just inconsistent right now. Other than that, and even then, she's leaps and bounds ahead of other AI.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those things. And
it's a thing.
It's one of those things that like until today I've been thinking about, right? Because I've been watching more Neuro. Like I've enjoyed watching Neuro in the past, but like now I've genuinely started to like really follow Neuro, right?
Yeah.
But because of it, I've started looking at AI in a different light. And it's made me, like, for the past, like, week, I've just been thinking nonstop about it.
And you need, you really want to discuss it, and, like, you got to find the right people, too.
The opportunity just arose today, and I couldn't, like, I can't stop, right?
Oh, I get it. It's the rabbit trail of the week.
But it's, like, it's the rabbit trail of the week, but it's, like, something that needs to be talked about.
Oh, it does. It does, absolutely.
It's something that it needs to be talked about because no one else is talking about it. And if they are, it's not where everyone can hear it.
Yeah.
You know that whole meme of like, you know, say it louder for the people in the back? There may be people saying it.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Yeah. There may be some people that are saying the same things I'm saying. But like maybe they are raising concerns to their bosses or to the CEOs, like, hey, maybe we're rushing into this a little too much. We're not training the AI well enough. This isn't ready, you know, but the main public doesn't know, right?
No, yeah, because they probably just turn around and silence them people before they can really say anything. And between like being like, well, now you don't have a job because, you know, we think it's perfectly fine, but you keep fighting us on it. And they're all like, well, I don't care anymore. And nobody's listening because, you know, it's not like you know who's in there and who was and who wasn't there.
Case in point, like a good like analogy to that, right? The scientists that worked on the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
Many of them went on, after they were dropped, went on to be starch opposition. Starch? Is that the right word? Anyways, they went on to be the biggest critics of nuclear weaponry. And they helped build the very first one.
Yeah.
And they were against it after it was detonated. They were vehemently against it.
Well, you stop and think about it. I mean, yeah, when it comes down to it in the whole situation, I understand why it came into play, but how many innocent people, you know?
It's just one of those things I think about.
We're in the loophole.
But I think that's where I'm going to leave it tonight.